Looking for a great horror one-shot for some Halloween fun?
Might I suggest trying The Zone, a surreal play-to-lose horror RPG. And the best thing, you can try it for free. Hi, I'm Mac, and these are Tales from the Hairy Coon. Welcome, Operative. The Zone is a game where you'll tell a weird, magical, realist horror story of mutation and self-discovery. A story about people who risk everything for an obsession, where only one character will make it to the end. This experience is for players who want to share the spotlight, supported by decks of cards that mutate into a fresh combination of scenes, locations, and characters every time you pull them out of the box. May your expeditions be weird, wonderful, and most of all, redacted. It actually says data expunged. Data expunged is what it actually says from what I just read there, the opening crawl of the book. But I don't know. I like redacted better. I don't know. I think it works better in audio. Anyways, if you enjoy cosmic horror, tabletop role-playing games, and you're looking for something to do, maybe a little something new and scary for Halloween, or even a perfect filler, as you'll see, for any one-shot night you need when somebody cancels. Or maybe you've just wondered how you might react to the events in various movies such as Annihilation, Event Horizon, which is a low-key Warhammer crossover, but that's a different story. The Color Out of Space from the cosmic horror originator himself, Lovecraft, and even things like Stranger Things and how the Upside Down kind of presents itself. Of course, Roadside Picnic, the book, and Stalker, the movie that was based on it, where the term The Zone was coined in the first place. Plus, all the other inspirations shown here in the graphic. Reacting to those things is exactly the opportunity that The Zone gives you. You can even play this game solo. Try to scare yourself. The game is for 1 to 6 players and takes about 2 to 4 hours to play, so roughly the same time as a standard game night for many. I'm sure it's a little longer the first time as you're learning it, or maybe if you just get really into the scenes. But once you get to know, you could probably bust this out in a couple of hours, just like a movie. It takes zero prep. Zero prep. So like I said, it's a great fill-in. Somebody cancels, you need something to do, boom. You can literally open the box and play it, following the concise and well-laid-out tutorial, which involves all of the players. There is no game master, GM-less game, but there is a facilitator, usually the host, but this is the person who does the setup and gives out the handouts at the right time and such. So, not necessarily, but yeah, often the host. The game is card-driven, so no dice, and it uses an always succeed system, so unless the player declares it's not so easy, you will succeed, and more on the not so easy part later. The manual also provides tips on the environment for you to play in, helping to create more tension, perfect for a Halloween atmosphere. Let's move to a quick overview of the game. The various card types we'll discuss as needed. First of all, part of the setup in the manual has the group discuss the level of horror by establishing the comfort level of each person, and it provides tools and tips to keep everyone having fun and make sure you're not crossing any lines. This includes an X card mechanic to immediately shut things down if it goes too far. I'm sure many people are familiar with such a mechanic. It does suggest using a movie rating system to establish the level of gore and horror that you're going to be introducing, which I think is probably a really good idea, as generally people have at least a somewhat close idea of what you would expect from those. A little explanation might be needed if somebody is not, I guess, a particular horror fan. All right, next, character creation. Yes, creation. Though it's limited in scope, you do get to choose a few aspects of your character. So, characters are created by dealing 2 to 3 random archetype cards to each player. You then ask each player to read the brief descriptions. You can trade amongst yourself, so if you get 3 you don't like, you can work with other people, maybe get a different one. After that's done, you give each player 5 random motivation cards. These are phobias and obsession, and each player picks 1 phobia and 1 obsession. Again, you can trade around the table if you don't like. And finally, you're dealt a Callsign card at random. Really, it's the Callsign cards have letters on them, and they all have actual call signs too. For example, A is Abydos, but really the letter is what's important. So if you wanted to be A for ant, you can totally be whatever you want. I don't really know why that was the choice I went with, but there it is. And the Callsign cards basically correlate with the fate cards, which we'll talk about later. After that, they give you an optional exercise where you can expand on your character's backstory, a single question that you each get to pick. And basically, it just gives you a little more depth. And I think unless you're really tight on time, this is probably a good idea. For veteran players, it really gives you a little meat on the bone that can work better and deepen later scenes. And for new players, it provides a little bit of direction for your character or clarity about how to play or engage with the character. After you have your characters, if this is your first time playing, the game walks the group through a practice scene. And one of the beauties here, if you're introducing someone to tabletop role-playing games through this game, one of the beauties is that it takes turns, with each person being what they call the director. And this is the person who describes the scene to get things started. So the game encourages learning GM skills, even as a GM-less game. Each scene begins with the director turning a location card and picking one of the 3 options to describe the location, expanding upon it as they wish, and then they pick a scene card to give the group a prompt to get the scene really going. And after the scene's initial description, the players build off each other, filling the scene out until they feel the scene is over. And as you progress, you come upon each player's fate card, which is randomly placed at the beginning. This encourages players to make bold and risky choices as they progress. And you're probably wondering to yourself about now is, okay, you know, they build off each other until it's over. What do you mean by that? Well, the game really works. The main engine here is the 4 key moves. I'll describe each briefly. All right, the first key move is called Take Stock. Take Stock is the move that you play whenever you kind of need to flesh the scene out. It needs a little bit more detail. This would be the first step if you get a description that's a little vague or maybe a little elaborate, and you kind of want to focus in, or you just need a little more information. Any player can call for a Take Stock, and when you do, you go around the table and each person describes a sight or a sound, touch, some kind of sensory detail, or how they're feeling at that moment. Key move number 2 is something's not right. So, you started the scene, everybody's described it, You got a lot of sensory information, but you kind of came to a standstill at the end of that. Even with the prompt, nothing's really happening. Somebody, or anybody that is, can say something's not right, and then describe what they think that might be. So, for example, they have here in the book, they have Val saying something's not right, and then they say that they feel like the trees are watching us. Now, you guys can move forward from that, bouncing off of each other, or somebody else can add, it's worse than that. So in their example, Daniel, after Val says that they're watching us, Daniel says, well, it's creepy, man. But, it's worse than that. It's not just that the wind's moving the branches. They're actually trying to grab us. So you see, each can build off of that and move the scene forward as Val responds, oh man, I think my scientist might not be able to resist getting a sample. So that brings us to key move number 3. Key move number 3 is not so easy. Now, as you remember, there are not so easy cards, right? The cards, the not so easy cards, are essentially your dice. They have various responses on them, yes but, yes and, so kind of a randomizer in that regard, but there's a little bit more. I'll get to that in a second. So for example, from their example, Sam says, my chaplain opens the door and Chris jumps in with, whoa, that's not so easy. So Sam, laughs about it. Okay. So I grabbed the door handle through the weird slime and put the door open. He then would pick a card from the not so easy pile. And in their example, so that we can get to the 4th key move, their example, the card he picks says no, and you mutate into a new form. All right, so now, key move number 4, and one of the funnest parts of the game is mutation. So as you see, mutations can only happen from the cards from the response from a not so easy card, right? That's the only way you can get a mutation. And mutations cannot kill you. Only fate cards can kill you, so go ham with your mutations when you get them. It says right here in the book, they're terrible for characters, but great for you as players. And they quote Kurt Vonnegut with, be a sadist, no matter how sweet and innocent your leading characters. Make awful things happen to them in order that the reader may see what they are made of. So just go, like I said, go to town. You can't die, so make it as crazy as you want. And if you can't really think of anything, that's what they have the Book of Mutations for, which has a number of tables so you can roll random things to come up with ideas. You can, try and relate them to your backstory, your phobias, like change your appearance, communications. It's a lot of fun. Like the mutations really add a lot of nasty, dark flavor when you really get it going. So those are your 4 key moves, right? Take stock, something's not right, not so easy, and mutation. That is your main driving engine. Every scene, you kind of roll around those, and then you move locations, coming upon your fate. Now you can't have any fate until after you've moved past the campfire card. That's when people start dropping dead, is after that point. And when you get to the end game, you'll hand out the Endgame Cards to the people. Each Endgame card lists on it who should be the one to get it. The only surviving member at that point gets to cast their wish. However, whoever has the most not-so-easy cards, thus encouraging you to do weird things to get not-so-easy cards, they are the ones that get to decide how that wish plays out, right? A lot of fun. There's also, the final judgment, and the epilogue, as they bounce back and forth, finishing the story. There's literally billions of combinations for locations and scenes. There's 110,000 possible character and motivation combinations, plus all the possibilities from the not-so-easy cards and the scene cards. Right, there's a ton of replayability, but on top of that, they've included the Book of Twists, which gives you rules adaptations to change the game just enough to make it maybe a little more interesting this time or last time, or scenarios and such like that. So even more replayability in that. There's the solo play option. Honestly, this game is fantastic. I recommend it on so many levels. 5 out of 5 Gygaxes. And you'll learn over time that I rarely give top marks for anything. So yeah, like I said, great Halloween game. Anytime you want something a little scary, anytime you need a little filler, get it. And if you liked what you've seen here, please like and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel more, I have a Patreon available below. Also links for the game, both physical and the free online version for you to try. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out, Coos.